were there any responses on via Instagram?
Oh, something's working. It says excellent condition. Oh, there it
Oh,
goes.
there it goes.
Okay, so you got a link for that? I would like to get it up onto or onto YouTube, or not YouTube, into Facebook. And I think I'm probably live voice. So hello, other person that's joined us. Give me a second here while I try to just share this thing. Into Facebook.
On your Facebook?
Yeah, I don't have anything else open. Trying to keep the bandwidth strong. That's so weird.
Let's see.
How do I can't. It's. Oh. It won't let me copy it. It's so weird. Hang on. Can I just do. Is it end in FA? No.
No. Yes.
Hang on. Oh, it's so weird. Now it's going to actually make it like I'm. I'm probably going to break the internet here in a second. Share. Copy. And bear with me 1 second. I'm almost there. Why? I think I'm killing my computer trying to do too many things at once. And paste. All right. Okay. I think I'm ready. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and today I am going to try to make a bag. So, hang on. Let me make sure I got the right loops here. Got caught in my chair. All right. And now I can. Hello, KC. Oh, and then you said a hello, and I can click there. I think my wife has just become a moderator. That's new. All right. So I have a video that I'll put out this next Friday about how I got my loops started. But I have 6 of these things ready to get put together, and I'm lining them up now to join. This is going to be a small bag this time, much smaller than the New Year's one. So I don't know how to say that name. What is that? Is it Bridget? I don't know how to say the name. Brigitte? Hello. Yeah. So I'm trying to join these 2 loops together, and I'll kind of get them moving along a little bit before attaching any more. But like I said, there'll be 6 loops in this bag, which makes it big enough to hold money and maybe a small wallet. You know, your basic essentials and stuff. Maybe if you were just heading out to lunch, you might carry a small bag like this. I know that my sister works in nursing, so a small bag like this is rather handy for her. Just carry the basic essentials. Mind you, it would be relatively the same if I was going to make it a little bit bigger, like say for like having your cell phone and that kind of stuff in there, except I don't have any intentions of adding string to it. The length here is 1/3 of a skein, so it's like over like 2.3 meters or something, but it's not enough to actually make it so a phone could actually fit. I would have to either have longer string or be prepared to add string to it, which I do not have. This is the same blue. Whoops, caught on something there. This is the same blue that I actually used for that bag that was in my New Year's video. I had some left over, and I kind of wanted to try it with a different shade of red. So this time I'm going with a rust. And I think, so far, I might actually like this one better. Oh, that's so cute. How do you make an upside down face? That's so cool. That's awesome. Brigitta. That's a fun name, by the way. And
Where's she from?
good question. Where is Brigitta from? I think there's a bit of a lag time in from like when I see stuff. Oh, a play button. This is okay. I have to admit, I haven't done a whole lot of live streams, so this is a little bit new to me. But the actual characters you guys are using, that is so cool. I don't think I've ever done that. Well, I don't think I've watched too many live streams personally, but wow, that's way cool. I didn't know you could do that. Okay, so if you can tell, I've just kind of tried to square things up. From Hungary. Oh, very cool. Wow. Do they speak English there? Can you understand me, or are you using like a translating something? I know nothing, absolutely nothing about Hungary except for it's a fun name.
You know Hungarian goulash.
Oh, goulash. I know goulash. Goulash is good. I'm gonna bring down some of these other ones, these other colors a bit. Just I find it a little bit easier to work on the bracelet while it's all nice and flat. Once I join the two ends together, there's just a pile of string everywhere. So, in case you're wondering, the pattern for this would be actually available if you looked up the video or the on my website for the bag that I did for New Year's. It's basically using the same stuff. That's awesome. That's great because I have a lot of people from other countries who don't understand they have to actually use the closed captions, and I've had to do that myself for various videos, and it's a lot less fun. So this particular pattern, like I was saying, there's stuff on my webpage. You can go check that out. Well, maybe you check that out after the video. I don't want you running away. But it's simple. There's like 3x3 rows in these bigger diamonds, and then it goes down to where there's just a single dot in the middle. Then the next one it'll have 2, and then a single, and then back to the 3 again. So, and as long as you keep track of that, it works out just fine. That's why I can actually do this pattern without actually having to have any graph paper or anything set up to be able to see what I'm doing. So what time is it in Hungary? I don't know why time zones fascinate me, but they absolutely do.
At 5:40.
Well, while we wait to find out what time it is in Hungary, who else has joined along? It says there's a bunch. Oh, there it goes. 12. Oh, nice afternoon. That's brilliant. I was talking with somebody earlier today who was recommending they wanted me to come on at like noon. I think it was Central Time in America. And when I did the search to find out what time it would be for me, I found out that it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to explain that there's a good chance that if I do a video at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be making a lot of mistakes, possibly swearing. It just probably wouldn't turn out very well at all. So it's kind of nice to know that at least in Europe, I'm at a good time of day. Oh, hello. One of my Patreon users there. That's hello. Oh, I guess I can let you know through here. I was meaning to send you a message to let you know that your bag has been shipped out, and I made something extra super cool to go along with it, just as my way of saying thank you for being a supporter. And it uses your colors. It's like sea greens and blues and stuff. It's very ocean-like or something, I guess. So I can't wait for you to get it. I am like, I don't know. I get like a little kid at Christmas time about giving gifts. I can't wait for people to see it. And in fact, I seldomly does my wife ever have to actually wait for an anniversary or anything else before she gets a gift. If I'm buying it 2 weeks early, she's getting it 2 weeks early. It's just a trait of mine. 8:54. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's like
1 hour later. AM or PM?
Wait, so it's wait an
Is
hour.
it Canada?
I have no idea.
Quebec, right?
Wait, did she mean
AM?
AM? You mean AM, right? 9:54 AM? Because PM it means you're only an hour difference from us. And as far as shipping goes, I do know that just recently somebody was also very excited about a package, and it took almost a month to get it to go overseas. But now that might be because America is a bit hung up. It was to America, by the way, but America is a bit hung up with their whole postal services being off. What's?
Her Quebec address is her parents' address.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
She's in Japan.
Oh. Oh, so wait, you're in Japan. So then so your package is on its way to Canada. You won't be able to actually see well, I guess if your parents have webcams, then you can at least have them open it up and let you know what you got. Ooh. Or you have something fun to look forward to when you get back. So either way that works. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the postal services in Canada are, but I can tell you that to the US there's been some real problems. Just things that usually take 2 weeks is taking almost a month. So a bit unfortunate. So here, you can see it went from 3 to 1 to 2, and then it'll do another 1, and then back to 3 again. And as long as you just keep kind of doing that, the whole pattern will work out. This one does an interesting, it's a 1 by 3. So it's sort of like outside of the borders or whatever. You just kind of concentrate on the straight rows coming down with that color, and it will turn out just fine. So my hope is that I get actually a fair amount of this whole bag done here while doing this live stream. I kind of cleared up everything I have to do this evening, so I don't actually have to do anything besides make knots. Oh, so there, oh, well that's,
So she didn't know where her address was.
we didn't know that where the address would be. Wow.
We could have shipped it direct to Japan.
Yeah, if you had just waited a little bit, we could have just sent it directly straight to you. Because this seems like, wow, that's going to take so much longer. And especially since Japan is not really all that terribly far from where we are, I think. I mean, as far as the whole globe goes, it's,
Not halfway across the world.
yeah. So now you guys get a chance to actually see what speed of bracelet making I do. I'm not the machine that some people make me out to be. How does that work? A US address in Japan? Is that like a military base thing? So I don't know if you guys can tell it, but this is almost as far as I can really get on this side. Yeah, I guessed it. Yeah, so this is about as far as I can go on this side. I'm going to go ahead and add some more to this side before I join the next piece. Now, the way I have this set up is there are 5 colors of the blue running from darkest to the lightest. And to get that to work out to where it rotates the pattern, it rotates itself every 3 times. Now, I could potentially make a tube at 3, but it'll be too small. Oh, you have to leave. Okay. Well, it's been nice that you joined us, and I'm glad that you're excited about your package.
Oh, well.
Different version? Oh, I can't read over the top of the things, honey. If you could read it to me, I would. Sorry.
Vegeta has to leave.
Vegeta has to leave. Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
By 6 a.m. Wanted to show support. Just popping in to say hi. I'll be watching later.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for stopping in. That is very early. Understand why you would want to watch it later. That's too early. I don't think my brain cells operate at that hour. It's at that hour I'm automatic pilot at best. All right, so now I have to start again at the highest point, which is up here. And it just makes for that little square. It's so nice. I wonder if there's a way of actually making the chat thing larger. Can I Zoom.
Oh, there's a funny thing next to my name.
Oops, too far. I just tried to zoom to be able to make the chat a little bit easier to read, and I kind of overshot, like, by a lot. Oh, that's, again, still with the icon stuff. That's so cool. So, Revive Newt. Sorry, I thought you were the one that was leaving there a second ago because it was harder to read. I got it a little bit more zoomed up. But yeah, I'm really excited the fact that you are excited about getting the thing. It's, like I said, it's like a kid at Christmas here.
What software?
OBS. I run a Linux computer, so OBS being open source seemed like the way to go. And mind you, I'm really just kind of scratching the surface with it. I only just figured out how to make the camera, this one, hello, how to make it a circle. And to me, that was like revolutionary fun. Mind you, some of the things that I'd like to be able to do, I can't because it is a Linux thing. And like I can't take advantage of the Adobe software for the 7-day trial just to make some of the other swanky things that can be done. Not that I haven't considered trying to find a way around it, but I suspect if I did the 7-day trial that I would spend the whole 7 days trying to figure out just one thing and then find out that there was 20 other things I could have done. Not fun. I don't. I honestly, I have no idea if it is available or not. Um, I stumbled into this because I know somebody who plays um, various games like Halo, that kind of stuff, first-person shooter stuff, and this is what they were using, and I was like, okay, maybe. And then I thought I was going to need to be able to um, get some kind of hardware to go between the computer and the cameras and stuff. But I found out that the webcam I had would suffice for now. Mind you, this camera, this little one, is not great quality, and I'm looking to replace it soon. But then I wonder whether or not it will use up too much of the computer's power. Because like right now, my CPU is at like 70%, which is okay, I guess. I just want to be able to make sure that I can hold up a decent quality. I don't know if I get a better camera, if that's going to be like too much for the computer to handle or what. So you do streaming. What kind of streaming are you? Video games? Or are you? I, to be honest, I've only watched one thing on um, the Twitch so far, and that was when um, that I can't think of I can't say her name. OAC, I guess they call her, the United States representative, who was playing Among Us with a bunch of the other big YouTube celebrity types like Jacksepticeye and Corpse and stuff. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, the camera I was looking at was like 200, so I might just have to go and pick that up next month. That's that's fascinating. Oh, wow. So you do coding. That's very cool. Haha. It was awesome, wasn't it? It was like seeing somebody that, you think that, because they're a person of the government or whatever, to see them as an actual regular person. That was, to me, that was the best part of the whole thing, to know that she had a hard time lying. She couldn't keep the being a bad person and without feeling guilty about it. Yeah, that was awesome. So you might, I don't know if you guys can hear it, every once in a while, this whole board thing is kind of moving. Um, I don't think it was ever intended for this use. So if I accidentally pull on the string towards me a little bit too much while trying to get the tension, it may make some noise, and I apologize for that. But I'm trying to get really good tension over here. Yes, yes, you're right. Was. Yeah, that was. See, that's good stuff. That's quality entertainment right there. I had found out about it through um, Twitter, I think, and saw that she was looking to do it, and I was just like, "Oh my God, please let it be with somebody like Jacksepticeye." And it was, and I was just like, "Oh my God, it's going down. It's gonna be so cool." Mind you, I only kind of know those names like Jacksepticeye and that because the same friend who introduced me to OBS introduced me to some music that um, was basically gamer orientated, and that turned my Spotify account over to finding um, Boy in a Band and Jacksepticeye and all these other um, amusing songs. And so I get curious if I hear something that's fun or whatever. I tend to look into it and discovered that these were YouTube personalities, and that turned into a kind of a joy of watching their streams as well. So when I'm not streaming and working, I might actually have one of their channels playing as my background sound because it's fun to have a laugh with them. But that's why I have to sometimes do my stuff at like at a faster speed because there's hours of work, but also because the sound is something I could get in trouble for if I stream it on YouTube or whatever. So try to keep myself out of trouble. So what kind of coding? You got me curious now. If I find out you made video games, I'm going to lose my mind. Yes, he does give a lot back to the community. I watched him give away money and stuff. And yes, I absolutely think that's brilliant. I don't know if um, I would ever get to that point, to where I would have, have millions by doing what I do. But yeah, I would like to think that I would, if I ever grew that to that point, I too would want to be able to give freely as he does. Same with him and PewDiePie. PewDiePie has a whole where you can donate money through the um, if you like join the some kind of membership thing with the YouTube or whatever, and all of that is going to charity. Like the last one I think was people in Yemen. Well, that's still cool. Yeah, I did. I was doing HTML back in like '99 and 2000, just when CSS was just starting. But I was mostly using it to make um, my own little web page on my own computer, which was speeding up how I was responding to the call tickets that were coming in as a help desk technician. So that way I could, like, if you had a computer that wasn't printing, most of the steps are pretty much the same. And since I have to log all that, I would put all my responses into various pages where I could easily find it. And then I could just copy and paste my responses into the ticket tracker thing. And that made me one of the fastest employees that they had, while everybody else is like, well, just stand in line here for a moment. And yeah, that's because they're trying to type out everything they did. And because I could just copy C, Control V, boom, I was able to get calls much faster. Markiplier, yes, yeah, again, through this whole same song things and stuff. Yeah, he's pretty hilarious. I love the whole Pop Tart thing where he confessed to having too many. I also like Markiplier's got that kind of voice that's really built for doing this kind of stuff, I think. I kind of have a little voice envy there. Right, right. Yeah, I've now taken to in the mornings I have an exercise bike now because I'm trying to lose a few pounds as well as um, get my blood pressure better under control. And so I have an exercise bike, and now I'm watching an episode or two of whomever while doing the exercise bike. And like if I don't feel like it, I'm like, oh, at least get to the end of the video. Just keep going until I get to the end of the video. And I find that instead of having to use motivating music, the whole just keep going for the 20-30 minute videos um, distracts me enough that I'm doing a healthier thing. So getting old sucks, but it's kind of fun to watch various things. Like yesterday morning, I watched this thing where PewDiePie was reviewing a TLC show about people who are engaged, like long distance relationships or whatever. And the girl went from the United States to Marrakesh. And yeah, that was, he really handled himself rather well because the whole story itself was semi tragic. And he tried to not say anything bad. Yes, yes, that's exactly it. You get into the video, before you know it, time is gone. Yep, that's exactly it. Plus, it's crazy entertaining. Oh, Mr. Beast. Do you watch Mr. Beast? he's another one of those characters that's wow. I just can't even imagine. He has the ability to change lives so dramatically. You know, he bought a house for a guy that delivered his pizza. That's and to see the reactions from the people, they just break into tears and stuff. That's wonderful. That's seriously good entertaining. So this is, I don't know if anybody's kind of keeping track. Let's see, it's been about a little more than a half an hour, and this is as far as I've gotten. So when you look at the bags and stuff that I've created, these big monstrosity things of knots, this kind of gives you a perspective of how much time goes into these things. Oh, I'm guessing that's an Apple Watch. They're the ones with the rings, right? That tells you like if you're how far you are along in your quest. Yeah, I've got. Let's see. Can I show this? Yeah, I have this. It's a Xiaomi version, and for a little while there, I absolutely love trying to actually complete the tasks. The part that turned me off was um, it doesn't count like riding a bicycle as the same thing as like accomplishing a workout. So I had been doing the exercise, doing the walking and stuff day after day after day, and then felt super energetic, went on a 70-kilometer bike ride, and the watch said that I had stopped meeting my goals because I hadn't been walking that day. And yeah, that was devastating. I stopped worrying about it. How long have you been doing projects? Okay, so I was doing back in 87, I made a bracelet that was easily like this, like 7, 8 inches wide. Um, and I did it for myself because people weren't buying that kind of thing. And but it was probably 3, 4 years ago that I discovered that. Well, okay, so back in 87, 88, I figured out how to make tubes because living in the Detroit area, I thought that having a hippie-like bracelet might go undetected if somebody was mugging you and they took your wallet, and at least you could have this bracelet on that had, some money for a cab fare or something stuck inside. So if you lost everything else, at least you'd still have a little bit of spending money. Um, but it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago where I suddenly thought if I wanted to go big, I could turn it into a bag. And yeah, then after that, I kind of spiraled into all kinds of bag making. Um, I had a local shop basically help sponsor me. They gave me like half the money up front, which paid for a lot of string, and I made 7 bags for it. That's very cool that the Apple lets you do that. I really just have a hard time with the whole Apple's ecosystem. Um, I got burned back in the 90s when Pepsi had a giveaway for the music and it turned all my MP3s into the iTunes version, which my regular MP3 players couldn't use. I lost my mind. I did have an Apple since then. When I came here to Singapore, I had the um, one of the minis and used it for work. but um, yeah, I don't know. They're, although I guess if they're, well, Google has their fitness thing, and I'm pretty sure they have something for the bikes, and you can track it. But at the end of the day, there's always your goals and stuff. Unless I guess you made like calories your goal. I guess that would be a way of getting around that. I don't know. I just find now that just do what I have to do, and don't worry about whether or not the digital world knows that it was any good or not. So yeah, when I made my first bag, um, I used the cheapest string possible, but unfortunately, I had I, there was like it came with 12 colors per box, and I got most of the way through, found out that I didn't use them as evenly as I thought, and I needed more of the colors, and it turned into an island-wide search to see if I could find any more of that floss. It almost never got finished, which would have been really crazy. Yeah, it was pretty messed up. The iTunes mess that changed my converted all of my MP3s. And mind you, I had gone to great lengths because I had that was back in the 90s. I had that thing where what do they call that? Who was it that gave you 12 CDs for a penny? Columbia House. Columbia House. I had Columbia House. And even after the whole 12 for a penny thing was over, I kept doing it because I was getting so many CDs. And yeah, I converted all to MP3 because I had a boombox that I could take to work with me, and one CD could hold 8 hours worth of music. So it was perfect. My whole shift was covered off of one CD.
Who else joined us? There's 6 now.
Yeah. Finding anything that can keep you motivated and keep you on track is definitely good. That's, I think, actually, when it comes to the nodding, I think that's one of people's biggest problems is how do you keep motivated when a project like this is as big as it is? And I think the answer to that is to get yourself properly excited about where the direction of what you're making is going. Like at this point here, I'm just starting to get to where the fifth color of this is kind of moving through its portion, and it's awesome. I love it. And get you a little excited. Let your brain give out some dopamine and get you going. So mixed track CDs. I did. I do them too. Those are the best. Oh, let's see if I can do something here. Do 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 do. And just like that, here we go. Special thanks to all my Patreon subscribers. I do appreciate each and every one, and they do make all of these projects actually possible. So, and as you can see, we have one of those people right here with us in chat. So, hey, Melanie's here. Hello. Another one of those people who have joined the live streams in the past. So that's very cool. Hang on, I gotta grab something to drink. So my little overlay there for my Patreon supporters, that was something I actually just managed to put together today. I was, oh, that's very cool. Is that Japanese? That is way cool. Again, things I didn't know you could do in here. I suspect that I'm going to learn a whole lot of neat new things just by having these live streams. It is unfortunate, though, that the hours that the US and stuff would be online, I'm likely to be in bed already, so it's an unfortunate whatever, but I can't imagine being up till 4, 5 in the morning. Just doesn't seem possible. There is a possibility of a bit of lag. I'm not sure. I don't know. It all seems to be working properly on my computer. I know there is a delay between when I read something and when I talk about it, and how long it takes before you guys get to see that. So I know that's got to be a thing.
It's laggy for me.
Oh, right, because that's... Yeah, Japanese stuff here is seriously counterculture because the older generation still have their feelings about what happened during the war. I don't know. I like Japanese stuff. I like the cartoons, manga stuffs. Oh, that's weird. Is everybody getting the laggy thing, or is it just her computer? It is possible, I think, because in the house there's another TV that's using internet. Could be drawing from the whole, like how much bandwidth I have for this. It is remotely possible. I can't rule out that it's my side. But right. Oh yeah, with weekend it could be all my neighbors are using all the bandwidth as well. I don't know. This is the first time trying this on a weekend. Okay. So that may be because I tried to go with a higher resolution this time. I don't know if I can actually change that midstream because I tried to go with the whole 1080p and make it more high res and whatever. And my computer says that it's doing fine with about, well, it's supposed to be doing 30 frames per second. I think it says right now it's doing like 26, 27 frames per second, which is just a little bit faster. I think 26 is the limit, like where your eyes can tell there's a difference. I have virtually everything else closed on my computer, so this is like as good as it can do. Mind you, eventually here I'm gonna probably have to look at a new PC. But I really have liked this one. This thing's held up like a little tank. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think you could change it while you're actually streaming. I only just figured out where the settings were for it today anyways. So that's how new I am to this. It is what it is. Everybody has to start somewhere. So there's 24 strings in each one of these. That means, what is it, 73 strings already at the halfway point. Now, some of the smaller bags I was doing were right around 100, so this one will be close to 150, which makes it bigger than the smaller bags, but smaller than the big bags. If that makes sense. So who else do we have in here? My computer says there's like 7 people, and I've got like 2 or 3 of you talking. Well, one I already know who it is. She's over there. Or confusing. My didn't realize I'm actually mirrored in that camera. Hmm. Is it is it because like the layout, like where things are in it, is harder to find with the Streamlabs, or is it? Because like for me, like if I were to try to use an Apple again, it's the whole where basic things are. Like even just setting up Wi-Fi in an Apple, to me, it's so much harder than even say Linux is. And I know people like look at Linux like you have to be a complete nerd to know how to operate it. But honestly, this one I'm using Linux Mint, and it looks and kind of acts like Windows 98, just easy. So, but yeah, if it's the control center type stuff, if that's how that app works, then I can totally relate to why finding things are a pain. Even this OBS there's some of the stuff was a little bit confusing. I've been watching videos and trying to get the hang of it. Like that little circle that goes around, um, that thing wasn't working at all earlier today. And I was, kind of gave up on it until I watched a video and the guy said something about the sequence of layering and how that was a thing. And suddenly it all made sense to me. I'm like, okay, got it. So that's why we actually have it working. So Revive New, do you use like music tracks in the back of your streaming videos? Do you actually use something? I saw something about like people using the Spotify, but I don't know how that works. Like, are there certain channels for music that are like no copyright problems or something, or I don't know. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm definitely interested in it, especially if I can hear the music. Change the Oh, that would be nice. I have two monitors, but not ultra wides. That's oh, that sounds like a dream. Perhaps one day. Okay, so it says I do. I'm assuming that's with the music. That's cool. So how does that work? Is there, like I said, is there certain channels that allow for it, or what's the? Okay, cool. And then you just play that on the computer and use your. Oh, I actually think I know how to do that. I saw something about where you can have other apps or your own computer's output as a sound source. Oh, that's way cool. Wow. Right, right. Because for streaming and stuff, especially if you're doing your desktop, you probably want it to be at like a basic high def resolution, 16 by 9, 1920, 1080 kind of thing. That makes sense. Wow. So I'm totally geeking out nerd like here, imagining big screens and all that. Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I was help desk for um medical supply place, and I wanted permissions to be able to bring in my own video card to be able to have two monitors on my computer at work. I was going to use one of their monitors, but I'd have to use the video card that I had. And they told me I had to go to HR. And I went to HR to ask if it was possible. And she says, "Now, when you say video card, are you talking like Blockbusters?" I almost fell out of my chair, and I think that was the downfall as to why I was eventually let go, because HR did not like me laughing at her for being so stupid, but it is what it is. It's the truth. I swear to God, that's a true story. Actually, that's not even like the scariest tech story. Back when I was a help desk technician, I worked for a project where Chrysler was giving all of their employees a computer. And some of these people had never ever owned a computer before. So, there's like one guy, he wanted me to walk him through every step of putting the whole thing together, despite the fact that like cables are color coordinated, the keyboard and the mouse, each, one's green, one's purple. None of that. He still wanted me to make sure that he didn't ruin it. And after taking an hour to get his whole computer put together, up and running, sound drivers in, all that, the next thing he asked me for was how to pirate music. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Oh, and then get this. I had a person call up and told me that their mouse pad was broken. Right. Okay. So immediately I had to go to the mute button, kind of chuckle for a second. Can you explain how believe your mouse pad is broken? And he explained how his mouse was all the way over to the right hand side and bumping up against the keyboard, but yet the cursor was only midway on the screen. Again, mute. Then come back. Okay, sir, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick up the mouse and recenter it. Yeah, that's that was about the worst. The guy with his part, yeah, yeah, pirate music, man, it was crazy. And of course, I kind of felt like trying to teach somebody how to pirate stuff would probably put me out of a job. Whoops. So yeah, I kind of told him where to find solitaire and to try that out first. Got off the call. They rate you like how long your calls are. So having already been on the call for an hour and a half, I knew that my numbers wouldn't look good for the day. So look at this. We already got the third one well in. Almost as far as I'm probably going to take this, and I'll add the fourth one. I'm pretty excited. This is turning out pretty well. I wonder if I can get all 6 together. I think so. Oh my god. So, it's funny you use the ID10T thing. I was over at my second marriage. Um, my mother-in-law was not the greatest person, and we were talking about her computer, and I was saying that it was an older PC. It's not worth that much. Um, and she's trying to tell me that her husband bought the most expensive computer there was, and this HP that was already 5 years old is worth so much, and somewhere along the lines, um, this whole conversation is going on while there is a tech over fixing their cable, and I mentioned that there was that computer must have some ID10T errors. And she goes, "Well, I don't know about all that, but so probably there is." The guy was behind the TV, and you could just hear us. And I was at that point. I'm having trouble having a straight face, but yeah, we kind of insulting her without her knowing. That was awesome. It's funny. I probably have as much tech whatever as I do about bracelets. That was like my life for a while. I had met my wife while I was in the U.S. and spent 3 years online dating. So for a while there, tech was life. Tested every known video thing, right? Ann? Those were the days. And back before they had all the cool stuff they have now. Now they have cameras that you can remotely turn them. Yeah, so as a tech, one of the things that you have is a mute button that goes to between the headphone set and the phone itself. And it's great in case you have like a little tickle in your throat or something, you can quick hit the mute, or if you sneeze, I have a huge sneeze, by the way. You can mute it so that way you don't kill the person on the line's eardrums. And whenever somebody does something absolutely ridiculous, you just almost instinctively hit the mute button before you let out that little burst. And you can't even be trained how to do that. It just kind of has to come naturally. Otherwise, you're going to have upset people on the phone. So. Yeah, where will tech be then? That's why I was asking actually what you do for the encoding, because I would imagine that with a bit of fun coding, one could actually figure out like you have two strings, right? It's obviously both are going to it if they're both the same color like this, then the outcome is obviously going to end up where you still have the same color at either end. Then if you have a spot where it's two separate colors like these two, you have the option of this going straight across or this bouncing back, and being able to set up how to design your bracelets in some kind of fashion would be kind of neat. I know that like bracelet, friendship bracelet maker or friendship, I don't know, whatever, one of those online ones, they have something to that effect. Um, but I'm not sure that you can necessarily go all in. Like if you wanted to have some kind of real lengthy or large size thing, that you could necessarily do it. Because some of the designs I do are huge. I did the help desk as well for the email ones, which I don't know. I think somehow talking to people was somehow easier for me than trying to answer questions via email, because text can be um, well, you can't hear the confidence level. You can't tell how well you're being understood. Where I on a phone call, if the person didn't sound confident, then I would, take a little extra care in walking them through it. Okay, so this loop, this loop, you'll notice is the same as that first one, right? So I'm just repeating the pattern over again. And let's see, how much time? Where did I lost it? It doesn't tell me anymore because I blew up the size for the print. How long the video was running?
67.
So an hour to get halfway. Ooh. Yeah, I have no idea how long I'm going to do this whole thing. But it is possible we might see a good amount of this bag done. Well, if you put that together, if you figure out a way of coding out how to do bracelets and or bags and stuff of any size, I'll take a copy of that. I think it would be kind of fun to play with. The only thing is see, so I use a graph paper that's available over on my website, and why that I think makes a big difference over say something that you could do like with the the other web pages is I can start anywhere I want to. And so if I'm trying to create a pattern that is symmetrical from the center, say, I can start at the center and go in at it any way I want to. See, that's funny. You think that it's amazing how much I've done in an hour, and I'm thinking, this is, mind you, okay, so I already had these things started. Each one of those starts is probably another 20 minutes. So you're 20, 40, 60, add another hour and 20 of actual how much time was putting into the knots. Then if you add in how much time it took my wife to cue me up the loops and me cutting up all the strings, yeah, this is quite a bit of time into this already. So yeah, I imagine. So okay, that could be fun. I'm not sure how you want to tackle it, but that was, if you're looking for something, because I can relate to that, the sport of trying to code something. I for a long time was doing my own web page before I went in and finally broke down and started using WordPress. Everything was all in HTML. Mind you, the whole time I was in HTML, I never once got it hacked. So it wasn't until I first tried WordPress that I actually suffered from that. I really like this red. I hope the color, it kind of looks all right on my monitor. I hope it's coming through like it is here. Mind you, I have one's a TV and the other's a monitor, and the two of them make the colors very, very different. So on the Sony, it looks nice and bright and kind of like the real thing. If I move it to the other monitor, not so much. Okay. Good night, Minnie. Oh, that's awesome. So who else is still here? YouTube says there's somebody else still around.
You maybe take 3 out. Just straight another 3.
Yeah. Hello, other people. I'm sorry. I'm off on wild, crazy conversation tangents over here, but it's fun. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. If you have any questions, please feel free. I really like the way this is going. This is turning out really nice. Oops, sorry. Ah, that's awesome. How old? Oh wow. That's a that's a fun age. They're just about to get into mischief, but they're not quite smart enough to know how to do it without getting caught instantly. 3 and 4 is when they start getting a little sneakier. Goodness gracious. Oh, so you're well aware of the whole troublesome years. Actually, 13, that's got to be coming into a whole new set of troublesome. So do they all come along for this, the military base living? Nice. uh, have you had where different apps or things have come like been removed or whatever? That was always one of my fears. Wouldn't let them go near my phone because they would, maybe delete something. Hang on. Okay. I have an air compressor thing for my fish tank, and it was, I don't know what happened, but suddenly it was making all my clips vibrate, which I don't know if the mic was picking it up, but oh my, super, super annoying. Yeah, I can't imagine what it's like to travel with the military. I've seen like movies and stuff where they portray it, and you always hear about the celebrities or whoever that have started out with that kind of a life. I can't imagine it because when I was in the Navy in San Diego, I don't I don't know where the families and stuff would have been at, but the bases themselves are so void of fun. Yes, I would think I would freak out too. But yeah, I guess there's a certain sense of safety in letting your kids run around on a military base because you know that it's not full of creeps and stuff like a regular subdivision might have. So I guess that's sort of cool. I don't know. My life was completely probably the opposite of that. Opposite of nice and safe and whatever. My parents died when I was young, and I went through foster care, and yeah. What is this? I think I have a notification here. Hang on. Not receiving enough to maintain smooth streaming as such. Open widget. So it's telling me that my stream status is now gone to poor. Let's see if I can do something. Simple bitrate 160. Yeah, it won't let me actually change it. Yeah, I'm getting a notification that says that my stream quality has dropped. And I can't seem to figure out what to do. No, there's no settings here for that let me at least change.
So much different.
Is it doing the same for you? Yeah, I got a pop-up message saying that it's not doing well. Well, hers says it's doing fine. All right. Hardwire. Well, actually, it might be both. But I know for a fact it's hardwired. So by right, it should stream perfectly. But not everything does what it's supposed to. So now I'm thinking about what the next computer's got to be. Actually, you could look that up. See if the same people, the ZBox thing has better specs. You like that kind of shopping.
Gets me in trouble.
I promise I won't get mad at you if you look at computers for me. Yes, it is a Saturday night, and my internet service provider might be having its hands full with all the people who are home playing video games or Skyping or whatever it is people do these days. Maybe we're all just streamers. Who knows? So, for those that are thinking about doing this themselves, yes, I can actually create a lot more of the bracelet stuff here. But I think I kind of like the idea of trying to get all of the loops actually attached here, so that way I don't have to worry about the sequencing and stuff. Yeah, I know. It's only computer shopping for the win if we can convince the wife that we should go computer shopping. Meanwhile, she's playing on her phone, so she's but yes. My current computer is, I think it's called a Z box or Z some, what is it?
Zotec? No, Brennan.
Zotek or something. It is made where the casing is the heat sink, so there's no fans involved. Because down here in Singapore, we have incredible humidity, and something in the air just makes dust become this black, like, it just sticks. Like dust becomes sticky. It's really gross. And so if you have a fan on your PC, eventually everything just gets kind of gummed up. But this computer, I've had it now for a number of years, and it just runs like a little tank. Just nothing seems to stop it. So I've been very, very impressed with them, and I would definitely think that my next computer is going to come from them. Mind you, I was only doing HTML at the time of purchasing this, so I didn't need anything all that robust. And now that I'm streaming, it's kind of like, I bet you that the stream would be not using up 70% of my CPU if I was on something that had a little bit more oomph to it. A computer is just a bigger phone. Kinda. Yeah. And that's what I think about, like, about these PCs where it's, fanless and stuff, is that essentially the phone doesn't need it, a whole big fan and all that kind of stuff. So why should a PC necessarily? Laptops can use a lot less power. So Zotac, that's it. ZOTAC. And I know this because the wife's now looking. Yay! Mind you, this is one of the few companies where you can buy a computer that's already got Linux installed. So, yeah, my current one right now is super low profile. It is, um, not sure my hands can do it. It's just a little tiny box. It's only 3 inches tall by maybe 6 inches square. It's really small. It's tucked down underneath my desk, so whenever I want to turn it on, I have to like reach way down to get to it. But it's really small. It's yeah. I like I said, I have no complaints. It's been a great little computer. It wasn't even badly priced, if I recall. It's a long time ago. Um, I think I think it actually did. I think it came with U Ubi Ubuntu. I don't know how to say it, but um, when that started getting, I don't know, at some point or another, I turned to Linux Mint, which is my favorite flavor of Linux. Mostly, like I said, because it looks like Windows 98 when I first got heavily into computers. Mind you, I was heavy into computers back when it was basic, but then there was like a number of years in between that and the modern PC that I didn't really play with one. So I never had Windows 3.1, that kind of stuff. I jumped straight into Windows 98. Switched over to this for a second. Yeah, I got to miss that one. Actually, back when I was in high school, we had Apple IIe's. So, kind of shows my age there. With the great big floppy disks, for which I had a mass collection of. Nice. Yeah, I never had it. When I finally got my first modern PC, it was a compact, and it actually had its own desktop type program that looked like rooms. Like there was one that looked sort of like a library, and you had various apps inside or on like what looked like bookshelves, and you could click on those to open up the apps. I've never seen anything quite like it. It was like a whole little skin that you navigated around to find um, what you wanted to do with it. Yeah, I went from having all the floppy disks for every kind of program back on the early PCs to having CDs of like every version of Windows, including 95 with USB support and all that stuff. I had whatever whatever somebody needed, I had it. Giant catalogs stored of all kinds of nonsense. Yeah, as I look over my wife's shoulder, it is pretty awesome. She just found one. It's got the i7 something or other I saw. There's mate built for streaming and stuff. Yay, buddy. Small box, big ideas. It is, what's that, 62 millimeters? So it's 62 and about 2.5 inches by, what's the other dimensions?
2.65 liters.
2.65 liters. Yeah, that's a teeny tiny thing. Really? Oh, that's hilarious. I had a lot of friends that were into that Oregon Trail thing. I never was all that good at it. I had a lot of old games though. We had stuff. We had a game for trying to land a plane onto an aircraft carrier where the whole game was being played on um I don't know if you've ever seen it before, where the paper has like the little perforated holes on the sides and it would feed out the information. So it would tell you like what the wind was, how your approach was, all these things. And then you would type in like what you were changing and then it would print onto the paper like the new, now you're 200 feet away. And then you put in, your adjustments. Now you're, 150 feet away. And it was, yeah, that was a long time ago. Holy cow. Used to get the books that tell you how to create different games and then convert it from the IBM coding to the Commodore 64. That was, again, I did this stuff for fun. Go figure. I actually just heard recently that the military just got around to stop using floppy disks, that they had still, in various places, were still actually using them. Find that just to be fascinating, almost unbelievable. But having been on bases, I kind of can see it as sure, why not? Okay, time for another loop. So, wait, where's the timer thingy? Hour and 38 minutes. And we're on to loop number 5. Mind you, if I wasn't building up as much material as I am in here, I could actually have these things loop like hooked on there faster. But I like to get the a little bit more to it because it helps keep the lines nice and straight. I think that's a little bit more important than the the little rush of having it all joined together. Yeah, I had a Commodore VIC 20. Actually, I had a Commodore PET, and then the VIC 20, the 64, and the 128. I was a huge fan of Commodore for a while there. I I had a racing game for the Commodore that I loved. I wish they would have something like that again. It was you could change the density of the cars. You could do all kinds of stuff. You'd have like collision stuff, but you could change the gravity of where they were running. So you could have these races and stuff, but you change the gravity. So if they don't slow down on a hill that has a sharp corner, they could literally just go flying off and take them all kinds of time to recover. So you kind of had to learn your tracks really well, and you could put together the track in any kind of form that you wanted to. So yeah, that was some good times. It would take us hours and hours to build tracks and argue over, was it going to be too difficult or too easy? It was a blast. But kids today, you have your Xbox and your PlayStation and stuff. The games are all completely set up. You sit down and you go at it. It's It's not like how it used to be. Designing the game, with your friends in mind, that was good times. Yes, the more time you take to get it right at the beginning. There's an artist. Um, you can look this up. He does walls where he puts one book down in the middle of a brick wall. And because the foundation starts off with this little hump, it's becomes like way out of line by the time it gets up towards the top and stuff. And it just shows how, if you don't start out correctly, how things can change. I think it was brilliant. I wanted to use it as examples in my tutorials and stuff, but I'm ever so afraid of using images that aren't my own because I don't want trouble with copyright stuff. I still got that message saying that my stream is not as great. I don't know why. There we go. Hang on. Let me grab something to drink. Really? Well, that's encouraging. I think my only problem with that would be the fact that the source isn't necessary. Like if you actually, like I said, if you look this thing up, um, most of the images come from other people, like the places. And see, I don't know how they do it. I don't know because you get like conflicting reports, right? I mean, you hear, you see these sites where they've actually used this artwork and they're showing it off and they're showing how amazing this guy is, and they don't seem to get in any trouble. And then I heard about some movie had a map that was used in the background in one of the scenes, and they got